Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. I am Ryan Keys, your host of a little show I like to call Spirituality with a Spin. It is Sunday, December 18th, 2016. As you all know, I have been sick and I've been fighting the flu. God, what a debilitating thing to feel under the weather on the physical, but emotionally and mentally you are pushing full steam ahead. Doesn't it feel like that in a relationship at different times? Where you are running, the cogs of the wheel on the physical side are turning and churning, and you don't feel like you're getting anywhere. But emotionally, you're investing. Mentally, you're investing, and you feel this connection, but it's not growing the way you think it should or the way it could. Why is that? If you caught my intro, you saw that I've put together a montage of things that made all kinds of different feelings come about. Things that make you blush and things that make you want to find out more. What is this heart? What is this love? What is this thing that we're after? How do we identify ourselves? We're three-dimensional. We have a body of flesh. We operate. We sit down in a chair. We drive a car. We do the things that physicalities do. But yet, there's a differentiation. There's a fourth dimensional layer to our 3D being where we feel as if we are in a commune with nature. We are able to feel things. We have empathy, we have sympathy, we have intuition to help guide us. And then outside of that, there's a fifth layer, there's a fifth dimension that many have been peering into as of late. They've been opening up the veil, trying to activate their third eye, trying to activate that spiritual entity, that being, that becoming, that ascension, that awakening. When truly, you never were asleep. How about that? You were never asleep. You weren't sleeping on the job, my friends. You never were. So before I go down into the world of intimacy versus intercourse and soul versus sex, I want to lay some groundwork. This isn't just going to be a one-part show. This is going to be a culmination of a couple shows. We may not do them back to back, but it is important because we're talking about consciousness. And I feel that it's good to define consciousness and these levels of consciousness as they grow and they apply to us. So for instance, when we look at the 3D versus the 4D, of how that relates. The 3D is the here, the now, the physical, right? Where separation is actually an illusion, where we are able to separate ourselves from our source. We're able to separate each other from each other. We're actually able to even separate ourselves from the physical entity. Where secrecy, withholding information, is still part of understanding your own truth. Because it still keeps you separated from the greater part of yourself and the more magnificent of all of us. So on a fourth dimensional level, when you begin to open up and you begin to see relationships and how they normally interwork, when you begin to allow empathy and compassion and some of these other characteristics like intuition to take over, a level of what they like to term authenticity, or we could summarize it as honesty and openness, where you begin to be more honest and more open with what you are, who you are, and where you're going. Honesty with your partner and who you are and how you express yourself begins to become more than 50%, more around to 85%. You're expressing 85% of your potential, of who you are, of what you want. You don't withhold yourself as much because of fear and the physicality of fight or flight, because your ideas of separation begin to kind of dissipate. So these things are very important when you're trying to cover the topic of ascension. And it's even more important when we're talking about intimacy and sex, because intimacy is a whole different definition than just a sexual intercourse. Think of the word intimacy and hold with me for a second. Say it out loud. Intimacy. Into me, see. See into me. See into me. Begin to look past this illusion which I have manifested. Begin to look past this separation of source. Begin to look past of this separation of this aspect of my own physicality with being connected with you. No longer assuming and presuming a situation, but allowing and loving and embracing, avoiding separation, avoiding locking something up. No longer am I caging myself, caging my circumstances, caging my community, caging who I am. No longer am I in a fear-based method of how I see things. Even just the whole term of a physical relationship, 3D, the touch, it's become so separate from the source. It's like understanding the glass of water you're drinking is still the same kind of water that's in that beautiful ocean, that beautiful sea that soaks up the sunset as you find your sustenance looking at the ominous power of the ocean. It exists in the very glass that you're putting up to your mouth and you're consuming. Do you understand how we've put boundaries and limits on things? I am not separated from you. I am not separated from source. I am divine. By definition, I am a being. A human being, which meaning to love, to respect, to honor, to treat with equality. A humane being. I am in the moment, in the present, operating as a being, a humane being. So into me see, intimacy. Look into me deeper. I am not just a mirror of self, but I am a mirror of source. For that which flows in me and gives me life, gives you life. I breathe so that I can live, but my breath that I breathe out helps a tree to live. So I begin to live in a symbiotic, source-based relationship. I begin to branch out of the three-dimensional concept of deviation and separation, the dogma, the white picket fence syndrome, the ideology of I am singular, I am on a mission, I am a self-fulfilled soul, I'm a selfie. Once I get past that and begin to see I'm a soully, I'm not solely alone any longer. So we begin to release the conditional love. I will love you if you do this, if you fulfill my expectations, if you fulfill my needs, I will love you. If you don't love me the way I want you to love you, then I'm going to withdraw my love because it doesn't satisfy anymore. That's conditional. Conditional is very flesh-based. It's bound to the body. It's very root. When you begin to want to open your third eye and begin to peer into beyond the veil, when you begin to want to elevate your experience, you have to understand that relationships are by choice. Monogamy is by choice. There's no right and wrong in any type of relationship. As long as it's inherently neutral and friendly and it's not hurting anyone, it's okay. As long as it's willing, and as long as it's something that has gone into with full conscious awareness, you have the right to choose. You begin to look through things as unconditional love. It's not about just fulfilling your needs at your time with your expectation. I will still love you for who you are, even if you don't change. Now, the portion of that, which is very, very important, you do not have to be in that situation if it is unbeneficial, if it is something that is berating you or tearing you down, if it's something that is preventing you from being your higher self, then you can withdraw and still love. There was a question that somebody put out. Can you still be friends with your twin flame or your soulmate if you have left them and gone and married someone else? Why not? Can you be friends with an ex-wife or ex-husband because they're the mother of your children and you need to be cordial with them? Do you still have feelings for them? Well, you do. Every person that you've encountered in your life that you've loved, did you stop loving them? If they were in front of you and they needed help, you may think, I wouldn't even give you a glass of water if you wouldn't. Hell. No, that's not true. If they were still remotely kind to you, if they were treating you in a way that was respectful, and I'm not talking about the singled out relationships that are bad, that are just so wrong that they're dangerous. I'm talking about normal everyday interaction. I mean, divorce is at all-time high. It's at 54%, and most of those have children. So I'm talking about an unconditional style of love versus a conditional style of love, because this is a key to intimacy. This is a key to sex. You cannot go into intimacy and into a sexual soul relationship with this condition-based love. Well, you can, let me rephrase that, you can go into it with that, but you're severely limiting the benefit and the blessings to both parties involved. You're able to climb so much higher up that Kundalini ladder if you don't go into it with a condition-based love. For instance, let's look at commitment. I need a commitment in order for me to avoid having fear that you might leave me. Your commitment is a 3D, three-dimensional illusion. It doesn't ensure security. Even if you've signed a wedding vow, even if you signed a piece of paper, that doesn't create tangible security. But yet we put so much faith into it. We put a false level of trust into this because not realizing that that's about being into a place where it takes understanding, it takes commitment from both people that are committed into being unconditionally serving of each other, that are involving themselves into this soul-based relationship. And I know this is all kind of boring in the beginning, but we need a base to operate from, a higher level of awareness when we're approaching these types of issues. And we're going to talk about all kinds of like really cool things as well. But I don't want to get the cart before the horse, because so many things are involved with conditions and expectations. But if we become a being that lives in the present, if commitment is not about being here, if you are here because of choice, because of love, because you trust that the future will take care of itself, and if you are here, like if you're in a relationship and you're here now because you love, isn't it a much better place? Because you're making a conscious choice to be where you're at. You're not being there because you're forced to be. You're not being there because you feel guilted into it. You're being there because you're an aware, humane being that is operating out of a place of love. And all of these things are on deeper levels. I'm not talking about you got in a fight, you got mad, so you want to go outside and sit in your car, you're going to go to your man cave, or you're going to go out with girls. I'm not talking about those, the little nuances of the nitpicking and bickering back and forth, the art of living together. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about going from 3D to 4D to 5D. I'm talking about intimacy besides intercourse. I'm talking about taking the sexual nature of an intercourse relationship and elevating it to a level of involvement where the illusion is gone and you've got this illustrious, diamond-rific glow where everybody is involved with this unconditional being of the present moment, and you're allowing and you are in absolute trust where you're not controlling because you're allowing, you are involved, you are feeling. Everything is for the highest good. Everything is occurring because you have this innate ability where you want to share this love, and it's about the desire. So 3D, relationship is the precedence, and then personal growth is going to be kind of second. When you go into the 4D, personal growth is going to be about the relationship. So the relationship is occurring so that you personally grow, if that makes sense. 3D, about dependency. I depend on you. I need you outside of myself. I need you here to be happy. I need this to be involved to be happy. I think many of the people that I talk with are facing that dependency on the physicality, the 3D, the interaction on a physical level, which is important. I mean, you do have to have this because we are three-dimensional beings. We are flesh-based beings. But if we can pull in a little bit of that spice from the fourth dimension and from the fifth dimension, then we begin to involve a certain type of self-sufficiency where I recognize that I and only I make decisions that will decide my future. I'm the generator of my own happiness. I'm the creator of my own happiness. And if I'm creating happiness for both of us, if I'm allowing my happiness to be part of your happiness and we're coming together, then we've gone into an art of allowing. We've gone into an absolute trust situation where you're trusting the person, not based on what they can do for you, not based on what they've done for you, not coming at them with expectation, trying to use physical means to manipulate them to get them to do what you need to do. Fear-based, right? You're love-based instead of fear-based. So now we'll never actually be able to 100% transcend the 3D. And it's a fallacy if people think that they can, because you can open up your third eye. Go ahead. And like I've said many times over, before you open up your third eye, let's look through the two eyes. And before you look through the two eyes, let's blindfold you. Let your lover blindfold you and do the touch test. Close your eyes right now and just clear your head. And whatever's next to you, just run your fingers across it. and inhale as you touch it with your index finger. You feel that generation of static, that generation of energy. That's evident, and you can access that, and you can elevate your your three-dimensional relationship and interaction to a whole new level. Trust me, baby. You can go from Bing Crosby to Barry White like that. You know what I'm saying? You know why you're here. You know where you want to go. We know what this is about. We want to be here, in the moment, feeling it, alive. From our toes to our nose, we want to have static. We want to feel those goosebumps. We want to feel that giddiness, right? And you can feel it. You can feel it when you watch a sunrise or whatever it is. You just have to start changing your perceptions. So a person is going to learn that pain in the 3D is a function of your mindset, that you switch that and understand that it's a lesson in love. It's not something that's trying to demean you. It's not something that's trying to destroy you. It's a lesson in love. It's about increasing happiness, increasing pleasure, increasing your ecstasy, increasing your understanding of how the functionality of life is taught. There's no mistake. You're right here because you've made a series of decisions that have put you here. And even if you're helpless, even if where you're at right now is in a helpless state, you've still decided by not deciding. Everything is a decision. I'm as guilty as anyone not putting all of this into practice. And that's how I got started doing this show, because I was tired. I was tired of helping and not applying it to myself, because I felt as if I was not being authentic. So as you all know, on my birthday, I started something different. I said no more. I'm going to define myself differently. And it has been tough. It has been hard. It has been debilitating. It has been a work. But it's been beautiful, happy, wonderful, and full of ecstasy in doing the process. It's an awakening. You know when you've been asleep and you've been in bed for 6 hours and that alarm clock goes off and you know you need to wake up and you know you need to get out of bed and start life? Part of you is like, oh, this bed is so comfy and warm. I don't want to get out. Well, that's what awakening's like. You're so comfortable where you're at. You're so comfortable in what you've been doing. You don't necessarily want to get up and start your day, even though it might be the best day of your life. That day you could win $1 million. That day you might see the most beautiful sunset. That day you might meet the most beautiful part of your other self. You may meet your divine self on the road. But it's tough to get those engines going, to get that motor turning. So as we start to go into other levels, we're going to start to learn about love and life and shifting from this three-dimensional complete concept and allowing it to be a little bit more, to go into the co-creation and that collaboration state of mind where we realize creative potential is about co-creating. It's about collaborating. It's about involve in love and being in love and vibrational energy and operating from a level of interaction that we're not used to. It's about understanding that if you have if you broaden the base, what you're building becomes more stable. You can build a taller building with a bigger foundation. So we want to increase our foundation of understanding. We want to increase our foundations of how we're looking at life. We want to increase a lot of different things. So now what I want to talk about before we move forward is sex and intimacy, because that's what we're talking about, right? We're going to go into that realm. There's an interesting quote that I heard. We need 4 hugs a day for survival. We need 8 hugs a day for maintenance. And we need 12 hugs a day for growth. I'm running way down on that meter. That's a quote of what somebody said about intimacy and sex and how that works. We've all, most likely, with a lack of intimacy, this has impacted our health, impacted our level of rationalization. It's impacted a lot of things. We haven't necessarily learned the power of physical touch in our everyday life. We have been struggling. People overeat, they over party, they do all kinds of things. They don't look at they look tired, they look stressed, they don't look at life the way that they could. We're not understanding our complete power, our complete nature, and what intimacy is. You're looking into me like I'm a vulnerable, open vessel, willing to be there at any time, any given time, to help anyone, to be there for anyone, to lift people up. Because the more I give, the more I live. The more I'm expressing my love, the more love will be able to return to me. And that's a truth. That's how life works. Increase your health, increase your happiness, increase your vitality, increase your life, increase those lives around you. So the more you learn to live, the more you learn to love, you begin to lift up as well. Our life begins to mirror what we're doing and how we're living. And it's a balance. It's like that back and forth. So one of the ways that you can increase your sex life and intimacy life is, number one, you want to have a deeper connection with your partner. So all of those people that are with your partner now, or that know who your partner is, Frequent affection improves your connection with your partner. It's going to make you feel more fulfilled. It's going to make you more intimate. It's going to release those chemicals like oxytocin that make you feel closer. They bond you. It boosts your mood. It boosts your sense of well-being. And sex is a form of exercise. It is. It does increase. It helps you. It releases laughter. It releases feel-good hormones like serotonin. It makes you more energetic. It reduces your stress. It reduces all kinds of things. And this is also intimacy, physical intimacy. It gets your heart rate up. It uses large muscle groups. It allows you to become more flooded with energy. It increases your immunity. It increases your lymphatic system. It strengthens your immune system. It helps you engage in circulation. It helps you just become a more resilient human being. It reduces overeating and undereating. It regulates your hormonal level. It regulates your sleep level. It encourages the growth of brain cells and your catabolic system to increase. It increases your adrenal release. It improves your sleep. So it has a lot of good benefits, and it is something that needs to be done. But when we're thinking of it from just that standard, now how do you get to that? Well, number one, you want to be more intimate. Like I said, intimacy. So when you're out with people, allow your guard to come down. Start to drop that guard. Start to understand that intimacy is a normal progression in all relationships. It's how real love is going to evolve and to deepen. It's about trusting. It's about exposing yourself. It's about, and not exposing yourself in vulgarly, I'm saying exposing yourself in the way that how you exist, who you are. It gives you more passion. It begins to evolve this deep level of connection. And it takes that three-dimensional being into that fourth dimension, which is going to ultimately increase your co-creative stance. It's going to help you overall. It's going to reduce the narcissistic tendencies that all of us have as a reptile-based mindset. It helps to lower that narcissistic tendency because you begin to think about other people before yourself. Love is about safety, right? It's a primary directive of your subconscious to put you at a place where you need safe situations, emotional safety, where you feel safe. And an intimate relationship is kind of like an exercise in allowing that to be a safe situation, because indirectly your body and everything that's going to be chemical based is going to be like, well, that's not that safe because I'm putting myself out there. They're capable of hurting me. There's a lot of fear triggers. There's a lot of maintaining yourself. Once you start to understand, hey, my body doesn't control me, and that's like what I told everybody about a juice fast for a day. 1 day a month allows you to put your body back into a retrospective place of being subservient to the soul and to the mind. Your body has an intelligence, and you got to smack that and put it back in line. So when you think about love being about safety and about allowing and about letting go, you have to learn that the early way to increase your intimacy is pushing your own barriers, pushing your own vulnerability, and understanding the three-dimension feeling of not feeling safe and feeling vulnerable is a body-based result. But you're a being that doesn't operate just in body. You're a being that's fourth dimension, as we talked about. So you can approach it from a level of love and learning, a level of letting go. Because letting go will automatically activate you to allow. As you let go, you're releasing these blockages. You're releasing these things. You're releasing your level of expectation, and you're connecting on a different level. You're connecting on a much more in-depth level. And part of that is about learning to accept yourself, be comfortable who you are, accept how you appear, accept your voice, accept your body, accept how you're dressed, accept how you believe in yourself, accept how you present yourself. Don't devalue other people to increase the level of who you are, and let traumatic experiences from the past just dwindle and go away. Because why are you going to bring something from the past into this present situation? I think that's why sometimes we start repeating cycles. If you've found yourself ever jumping into a cycle. So what you want to do is you want to consciously let down your love guard and understand that, okay, so what's the worst that can happen? I can get hurt. But if I don't let down my love guard, I'm definitely going to get hurt because I'm not going to be present in that relationship 100%. It's not going to go the way I want it to anyway. I'm going to negate my own actions and my own desires by not letting my love guard down. So all it takes is being conscious with intention to transform how you see this. Just tell yourself, I'm done hiding, I'm done protecting, I'm done emotionally defending myself I'm done repeating the past. I'm done losing a potential lover or friend because I'm going to bring the past into the present, and I'm going to manifest this series of fight or flight, turn and burn kind of reaction. Honestly, having a love guard up is a fake thing anyway. because it's a mask. You're just hiding. You're just hiding from the world. You're hiding from this level of love. Now, if you dive into that, you remove that mask, you remove that love guard, and you jump in and you get hurt, bravo! Don't live in the place of where you were hurt. Live in the lesson that you loved. Live in the ability that you were able to love someone else beyond this love guard, that you've experienced a fourth dimensional breach from the 3D. You've gone into a love status. You've gone into the art of allowing. You've gone into a higher level of loving through unconditional love. You have broken the body's control over you, right? Because you're bigger than the body. And all of my friends and all of my followers that are looking for twin flames and soulmates, that's not about looking for the body. So if you're following me, follow this. Break the body's control on you so that you can manifest the reality that you want, so that you can be at the present moment doing what you need to do to manifest what you need in life. Affirm that I am lovable. I am loving myself. And I'll tell you, there's nothing wrong with loving yourself a little bit too. If you got some lack, if nothing's going on in your life, don't let anybody tell you you're going to go blind. If you got to love yourself a little bit to get that appreciation, and I'm whispering, I don't know, why am I whispering? I don't know, because maybe somebody's listening and you're listening, it's, whatever. There again, I'm in the 3D, I'm judging myself, I'm wearing a mask, bam, I caught myself. Damn it, I hate when I do that. You know what I'm saying? So I am lovable. I first need to be able to learn to love myself in certain ways. I need to learn to allow, and I need to understand, even if my ego kicks in, even if I get some negative things that come up, I can push it to the side, make a different decision, go in a different direction, and move away from it. I don't have to churn it up. I'm not making badass butter. I don't need to keep churning up the old stuff. So if I'm in a relationship and I'm having a situation and I go to the ego, if I go to the place of the dark side, if I go to my shadow side and I'm operating and I'm talking in that situation, if I pursue it further, it's going to get worse. But I have the ability as a being, as a humane being outside of the body, to say consciously, no, I'm going to come from a place of love. I'm going to come from a place of unconditional awareness. Boom, I'm going to go right there. And I'm going to push that to the side, rationalize and push it to the side. And then I'm going to say, I'm going to my higher self for help. I'm going to the source for some security here. Because I have security and understanding that everything takes care of itself, that tomorrow will take care of everything on its own if I do my work today. If I'm diligent in today's work, tomorrow takes care of itself. And I also know that if I don't make any different decisions today than I did yesterday, tomorrow and today are the same as what I just did. Being naked and being vulnerable and being an open-hearted person is going to take a lot of work. It's going to take a lot of willingness to get over blocks, but being flexible and transparent is a courageous act with your life, and it will be rewarded by you understanding a deeper level of your own intimacy. When you understand you on a deeper level, you're able to show people that deeper side of you. You're able to live that truthful, authentic, fourth dimensional self. You're able to be naked. You're able to express yourself. You're able to allow rejection to wash over you. You no longer are judging yourself. You're no longer coming from a place of fear and destroying relationships and sending people running because you are at a place of lack. You're not operating on the society-built white picket fence of scarcity that is telling you, you got to get this, you got to have this, you need this new Lexus, you need this new house, you need this new Rolex. You're not living in that life. You're living on a deeper schedule of life. You're living on a life that says, I want love. I want light. I want to live. I want people to live. I want the world to be a better place. I want to be giving because I know giving is the secret to long living. I want to be truthful because I know that's the secret to me being youthful. Am I rhyming on things for a reason? Hell yes, I am. Because when you get into a flow, when you get into a rhyme, when you get your music and you get your song singing, you become effortlessly vibrational, my friends. Like the music I'm playing in the background right now, 432 megahertz, it is a realigning esophageal tone that sets you on the right path. Utilize the tools that you've been given. Utilize the things that you've been given. Surrender to the inside. Let your inside take over. Stop letting the outside run your life, because the source that lives inside of you, that spark that gave you life, is love. Look deep inside of yourself. Go to the source. That will help you in your sexuality. That will help you in understanding intimacy and how intimacy is going to develop a higher place for you to become that badass self. I want you to be that badass self. I want you to be that person that is not afraid to go on the nude beach and stand there butt naked and be who you need to be. Now, if it's against what you believe, that's okay. Whatever it is, whether you feel insecurities about yourself, it's because you're placing false expectations on yourself. You're putting yourself in a category that doesn't belong to you. You're allowing society to dictate your perfection. You are a divine being. So surrender to that source of love inside of you. Every time you take a breath, realize you're breathing in, I hate to use it, but I got to do it. Breathe in that good ass prana, baby. Breathe in that good ass prana. But understand, the water that flows within your body is the water that you drink, is the water that gives you life, is the water that you see in that massive element at a sunset at the seaside. You are magnificence. You are a majestic being, and you're going to find your support in understanding that level of interaction. And then here's the thing: you want some savage tips right now? I don't know if I want to do it. I don't even know if I want to go there at this time, but because we're building, this is going to be a couple shows, like I said. So let's talk about understanding the deeper purpose of sex. First off, manifestation and healing, connection. To understand that you're channeling, you're increasing, you're channeling source. That is divine energy and essence coming together as one, right there. Boom. It's a fountain of youth. It is the fountain. It is an interaction. It's a spiritual alignment. Approach it like that and see what happens. Approach it with some depth. Sting does tantric sexuality, right? So approach it with that different understanding. Let's start understanding the intimacy. You've got intellectual, experiential, sexual, emotional, you've got all kinds of stuff. But when you're talking about sexual intimacy, and you're talking about hungering for that connection, that physical connection, the presence, the flesh, the touch, the push, the feel, the taste, the scent, the sound, the texture, the visual aspect, the enhanced experience. When you're talking about that degree of vulnerability and that trust that is that intimacy, where you're slowly undressing your soul, when you're exposing yourself, where you're feeling that this is an attachment, this is an infestation of functionality and meeting this spiritual union. First, we got to get you on that 3D understanding. And we got to get you to be no longer afraid of intimacy. You can't be afraid to be loved. We got to get you to that base root, because, I mean, what is love? Love is more than emotions. Love is more than the good feeling. Love is more than what society has said it is. Love is more than just sex. Love is just more than just getting married. Love is more than just being a parent. Love is such a great thing. I mean, love is the base root of everything. Patience and kindness, and it's not boastful, it's not prideful, it's not easily angered, it's not self-seeking. It doesn't keep a record of wrongs. It's not deceitful, it's truthful. It trusts, it perseveres, it finds foundation, it builds foundations. It awakens a part of you that is the inner part of you that is putting you to the closest place you can be with the divine creator that has created you. Real intimacy. These are the places of the real hot damn power. Because let's look at it like this. When an enlightened partner understands that your sexual intercourse, your sexual interaction is about facilitating breathing and senses and concentration and a culmination of co-creating. Wow! When your mind is no longer wandering, when your mind isn't wandering to different images, but to the image that you're manifesting right there in the moment, now that is important. That is where we're headed. That is what our mission is. That is where we're going. And that is the base root of how we are going to expand into our higher level of being. You want an awakening? Well, I'm going to wake your ass up. Okay, so I've probably overstayed my welcome here. I've probably just wound you all up. I'm sure that I have. But again, being intimate means intimacy. See into me. A blend of heart, a blend of soul, a blend of letting go, looking past the logical, looking past the physical, into the depths of my vulnerability and my being. Allowing a close union with all those people that you meet that is not confined by borders, not conditioned by boundaries, where there is no expectation, there is no requirement, to being vulnerable and available and conscious, where you have become a humane being, being in the moment, being present, showing this combination of that you are no longer just a mixture of elements and particles. You are an innate being. You are a highly evolved mingling of supernatural power. You are a soul. You are sharing your heart. You are what God designed you to be, a higher being. You're a being that is more than just wandering around looking for a hookup. You're a being that's more than just going to work on a 40-hour work week. You're more than a being that's just sitting in a plane, going on a vacation, trying to live your whole life in 2 weeks because the rest of it isn't what you want it to be. Sex is still going to be the most intimate, beautiful expression of love that you have at this moment. But I'm telling you, we're going to take you to a higher place, higher plane, higher level. The proof is going to be in how you're going to approach this runway before you take off. Intimacy. When physical contact becomes a connection of mind, body, and soul. Blindfold yourself. Do the touch test. If you got somebody in your life, blindfold them, do the touch test. Touch different things, but clear your mind. Listen to some 432 megahertz music in the background. Get to the place of being here, like a meditative state, like a meditative trance. And anybody that wants a personalized meditation, I'm starting those as well. I will give you a 10-minute meditation. Contact me through my website, and it'll be a personalized meditation based on what you're going through. If you're having problems with fear or whatever it might be, we'll do a meditation based on that, because I've been getting a lot of people that have been wanting that, and I hadn't really thought about doing it, but I'm going to do that. We're going to wind down now. This is a lot of information for today's show, and I hope that everybody is able to stay on board. Vulnerability and authenticity is going to be our catchphrase. It's going to be our poster for who we are. I appreciate you coming together with me on this journey. Also, I am still running a bit behind with some of my readings. If we have not done our phone calls, if we've not done those readings, continue to be patient with me. This week has been a hellacious week of being sick. Peace, light, and love, and I will catch you on the other side.